Hey everyone, welcome back to the bench and to another basic skills video. And in this video, I thought we'd cover the art of making head pins. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you out there all screaming, you can buy them. Why is the point of making them? And I kind of agree with you really on that one, especially if you were going to be just banging earrings out to sell at a craft show, then yeah, go buy some head pins and save yourself a lot of time. But at some point, you're going to be working on that project, that beautiful set of earrings or something that's going to need that extra little bit of flair. So it's always worth trying to make your own. At least try from the start. If you find it boring, you don't want to go buy them. I understand. I really do. But yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I do it today, because I actually wanted to show you how to make wire wrapped eye loops. But to do a wire wrapped eye loop, you kind of got to have a head pin. So I had to make myself a load of head pins, and I thought, you know what? Let's show everybody how to do it. I know it's super basic and it's just for you beginners. I mean, really super basic stuff, right for you beginners. And I understand you advanced lot or your intermediate wire jewellery artists probably wouldn't do it. But you know what? At some point, you're going to have to make a head pin. So let's crack on and let me show you what I'm talking about. So what is a head pin? I hear you say, here you go. This is a head pin here. It's just a piece of wire with something at the end to stop a bead from falling off. That's basically it. That, whatever that is, can be anything. That could be a loop, it could be a squiggle, it could be a spiral, it could be absolutely anything. The whole point of a head pin is to stop a bead from falling off the end. So there we go. That's it. It's as simple as that. That's what a head pin is for you beginners out there. So let me just show you how to basically make a basic head pin, shall we? Let's start with some spirals. Right, before we get started, let's do our usual tool talk and what tools will I be using today. So chain nose, flat nose, #1 tools at my side at all times. Flush cutters, pair of nylon jaw pliers. They'll be using these to straighten the wire out with. If you don't have a pair, don't worry. You can use your fingers. We have a usual and trusty metal ruler. Rubber hammer. Handy. We're going to be using this to help work harden some wire. Chasing hammer. Metal block. Blowtorch. This is not an expensive one. You can get these on Amazon anywhere between £10, £20, £25. They're not expensive. I recommend you go get one. You don't need it for soldering. You don't need all over the kit. Even if it's just for melting wire that we're going to do today, I do recommend you go buy one. And wire sizes today, we will be using 20 gauge is the main side, which is 0.8 mil. And we're using a small amount of 0.4 mil, which is 26 gauge. Right then, should we crack on? For the first set of eye pins, I'm just going to work off the roll. I'm not going to cut any wire off just yet. So I'm going to pull some wire off and I'm going to straighten it. So if you haven't got any nylon jaw pliers, just run your fingers down like so. But if you do have a pair of nylon jaw pliers, this is a great trick. This is one of my favourite tips to show everybody. Grab the wire nice and tight between the pliers, put them down. This will help straighten your wire out. Easy. See that? How nice and straight that gets? There we go. Now, be prepared that what it will do is it will damage your nylon jaw pliers in here. You'll start seeing grooves turning up here. But this is why when you buy nylon jaw pliers, buy a pack of the actual heads for them, because then you can just change them over. Don't have to keep buying. These are just Speedsmith ones. This is great. This is the great thing about them, is that you can change them as well. So they won't last long. You will go through them, because you can see on here how much. These are relatively new. They've not been used that much, but you can already see they've started to get some furrows in. So once you got, as I said, once you've got a pair of pliers for straightening wire, nylon jaws, use them for straightening wire, because they're not going to be very good for gripping things. Anyhow, back to making head pins. Right then, straighten your wire. We're going to start off with some spirals, something very simple here. So first things first, let's make sure we are flush cut at one end. I'm going to take my ruler. I'm just going to measure down. It all depends how big you want your spiral. I say mess around, see what you come up with. But for me, I'm just going to do 2 centimeters. And taking my Sharpie pen, I'm going to mark 2 centimeters down my wire. Now, that's something I forgot to say in tool talk. Marker pen. We're going to need a marker pen. There we go. Right then, let's crack on and do this over. So, going to make it off the roll here. I'm just going to make a spiral. I've shown you how to make a spiral quite a few times. So, usual thing, I'm going to start with my round nose pliers. Going to make a, there we go, am I in focus there? There we go, we're in focus there. Come around halfway, taking my flat nose, and I'm going to close that circle up, like so. And then going to roll down until I meet that mark I made. Now I'm going to stylize my spiral as usual by leaving a bit of a gap, as you can see there. And I'm going to keep rolling all the way down until I get to that mark. Cool. Now I'm going to take my chain nose pliers again, placing it on the mark or roughly where the spiral meets the end. I'm going to just kink it so you kind of make a bit of a lollipop. That's not my best spiral, I will admit that. Let's tidy that up a little bit, shall we? There we go. Bit tidier. Cool. Once you've done that, then measure how much wire. And I'm going to leave 4 centimeters worth. That's it. From the edge of the spiral up to there. That's plenty enough for a basic earring. But obviously, it depends what you're doing with your head pins. You might want really long ones. I don't know what you're up to. But yeah, so that's up to you on that measurement. So again, I'm going to now repeat this with the other one and try and make exactly the same spiral. But there we go. That's one head pin. I don't need to show you how I'm going to make the second one. You already know. I've just done it. In fact, I'm going to sit here and just going to tweak this a little bit more. Go flat nose pliers. Just to get that. I'm not happy with it. That's a little bit better. There we go. That's a very basic one. Spirals. You know, you can't get any more basic than that. So let's try another one with a. Let's try one with a little bit of wrapped wire around the end. Simple again. Same thing again. Work off the roll. This is where we're going to get a piece of 0.4 mil wire now. And so again, before we get started, let's make sure we are flush cut at this end. Cool. Too bad. I'm going to reflush that. That's better. We're going to take our wire, our wrapping wire, and then you can use any size you want here. I don't recommend going too fine because we're going to slightly hammer this at the end. So you want something that's got a little bit of thickness to it. So 26 gauge is probably the finest I would go. In fact, when I was practicing this, I was using some 0.5 mil, which was 5 mil. That's a 24 gauge. So yeah, so you can play around with different sizes. So what I want you to do now is taking your wrapping wire. I want you to wrap round 4 times, nice and neat and tidy together. You could go 5, you could go 6. It's up to you. I was just going with 4 when I was experimenting and making this. As you can see there, I've wrapped around 4 times. I'm going to take my pliers. I'm just going to tidy this all up. So it's all nice and neat. There we go. There we go. Now I want you to notice something here before we move on, that the wires finish on the same side here. Now we want to do that because, well, yeah, there's a reason for it. When we go to hammer in a minute, on one side of the head pin to look perfect with nice 4 wraps going down. So trim your wires so they're both trimmed on the same side. Sliding all over the place. Kind of what I want. And then using your chain nose, just gently crimp them. Get these edges in so nothing's sticking up. Cool. Now, this is a good trick. Place your flat nose plier there. Slide it down so it meets the pliers right at the end of the wire. And then crimp it. Now you could just crimp it tight. There we go. Job done. That's now cut in to the base wire. It's now a nice stopper. You can just about see it there. There's a little bit sticking out here. What I'd do is I'd just trim that edge off there. Now you could hammer this as well if you wanted to. I did on the practice sessions, but I actually found that actually just with your pair of pliers, crimping tight does the job. Like so. Just tidy that up. And again, then taking your ruler, measure up how much wire you want to leave for your head pin. So again, I'm just going to do 4 centimeters. There we go. And now you have a head pin that's going to go nowhere. You can see that's not coming off. You can slide a bead down. This looked quite cool, I think, patinaed, because you'll see those lines come up as well. So there we go. That's a very basic head pin there. I love the idea of that. So those are these two are your two super basics. You can see how quick that was to make, can't you? It didn't really take me that long to do. So the argument is that quicker than buying head pins already pre-made. So there we go. Two very simple basic ideas. Right, let's move over and let's get the blowtorch out and let me show you how to melt some wire. Before we start melting some wire, I thought I'd give an extra tool talk here, really, is because I did forget to mention a couple of things that we actually will need. So you're going to need a pair of these tweezers. They kind of got their own spring loaded. They're spring loaded, as you can see. And they've got wooden on them, with wooden handles to stop heat transfer, so you don't burn yourself. So yeah, I recommend a pair of these. Very inexpensive on eBay. A little pot of water, a mug or something. Just going to need a small amount of water. Obviously, we need to cool the metal down with something, don't we? And obviously, the blowtorch. So that's basically what we need for creating our own head pins, or melting the ends of the wire. Right, there you go. You can see I have placed the wire into my spring-loaded tweezers, like so. Helps hold in place. Love these tweezers. But that's all you need to do. Place them in the tweezers like that. And what you're looking to do is you're looking to heat the very tip of the wire. No more, nothing up here. You're looking to keep the flame on that very tip. And the part of the flame you want to be using is the hottest part of the flame. So when you look at the flame, you'll see it's in two parts, and there'll be a center part, which is a much lighter blue. It's the very tip of that lighter blue bit in the center. That's what you want to be holding over here. Let me just get this started and you should be able to see it then. Right, let's start the blowtorch up. There we go. And I'm just going to heat the very tip with the hottest part of the flame. This will go quick. There we go. And she started to bubble already. Job done. See how quick that was? And once you've done that, into the water. There we go. Let's go to a close-up and have a look at these then. Here you go. Here's a close-up of what we've just done. As you can see, they are a little bit pitted and they need a bit of work. We need to clean them up a little bit. But you can see it was very quick to make. Very simple idea. And what you're really taking away from this is not head pins. It's about melting the ends of wire. I'm sure you've seen many wire wraps out there and wire jewellery where the end of the wire has been melted and hammered. That's how you do it. So really, that's what you're taking away from this video. It's not so much about head pins. It's about kind of melting the ends of the wire. So right, let's clean these up and let's make them look more presentable. As you notice, now we've finished, we've got a bit of cleaning to do. I recommend fine sandpaper, 1000 I do believe this is. And then just sit there and start cleaning up your head pin. Now you might want to leave it. You might want to leave it pitted. You might want to leave it black. You might want to only take a bit of the patina away because it looks quite good. But it's up to you right now. But what you might notice as you're doing this, you'll notice the wire itself is very soft. Now what happened is as you've melted the wire here and you've heated the wire up, all the atoms in the wire start to shake and slightly move apart from each other, and they create they make the wire soft. It's called annealing the wire, which is a good thing. For some things, you're going to need soft wire. It will help you out. Like when we turn this into, when we place some beads on this and we make a wire wrapped eye loop at this end, that soft wire is going to come in handy. But there are some points where you might not want soft wire. Actually, you might want your head pins. I can see that I just bent really easy there. You might want your head pins a little bit harder. So this is where I recommend we get the rubber hammer out. Get your block, your rubber hammer, and now just start hammering your eye pin. Now don't hammer really hard. You're not looking to flatten anything, and obviously with the rubber hammer you're going to be less chance of flattening. But what you are doing is that you're hammering the atoms back together again. They're coming back together again, and you're work hardening the wire, and you're making it a little bit tougher again. So just run down with your hammer. There we go. I can feel that already. That's starting to toughen up. That's starting tougher. And at this stage as well, you could, if you fancied it, you could flatten your little ball at the end there. There you go. You saw that. Just a few hammers. That's all it took to flatten it. Becomes a little bit easier to sand down now. You can see. There we go. Nice flattened it. I actually quite like them like this. This is what I will be going for all of mine. And now, again, back to removing that patina. And again, how much you remove is up to you. Now, in this situation, I would personally just polish that up. Knowing I'm going to have some beads on here, that's probably going to cover all that up. But if not, I just keep working at it. See, it's removing quite fast. Still very soft, which I don't mind. It's going to come in my favour. Brilliant. Pretty happy with that. A little bit more work on the cleaning, but you know what? I can do that later. Let's finish this video off, shall we? There we go. A basic eye pin. Very simple to make and very quick as well. You can see that. So yeah, I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to go buy them, but you know what? I would love to see you making your own and adding that little bit of flair to your head pins. Excellent. Nice. There, everybody. Head pins. A very basic skill for you beginners that I do believe you do need to learn at some point. Now, do it. Have a go. Now, if you feel it takes too much time, I don't blame you if you just go out and buy a pack of them. I would as well. Especially if you're just want to bang out a load of earrings, get to the craft fair and make some money. That's very understandable. But if you're making that special piece or those special set of earrings that are just that little bit more, then yeah, make your own head pins. Because then everything within that design is yours. And it's all, you've made it as well. But yeah, please have a go. And please show me what you come up with as well. What I've just shown is a very, very simple idea. The idea is a piece of wire with something at the end. That's all you need to do. It could be anything at the end. So spirals is where to start. Buy yourself a blowtorch. Start melting some wire and start having some fun. But be safe when you're melting some wire, please. Please be safe and try not to burn yourself. I've done it a few times. It really hurts. Nice one, people. Just a reminder, if you have been really enjoying these free workshops stroke tutorials, please maybe come on over to Patreon and start supporting me there, and maybe join up one of the tiers and help me make more of these videos, because there's loads more to come. And I've got lots to offer at Patreon as well. So I'm about to drop a Patreon only tutorial. You can get copies of my books and all my PDFs for free when you join up as well. So maybe, yeah, come on over and support me there. That'd be brilliant. Nice one, people. It's been real good fun. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, which I do believe is wire wrapped eye loops. Nice one. Take care. Bye-bye. To support this channel and help me keep making more videos, please come on over to join my Patreon, where you'll get early access to all my videos, free downloads of my books and tutorials, and entries into my giveaways and more.